Did you bring some fish?
That is quite logical, Captain.
Where shall I strike?
Test your might. Test your might.
Get it out! Get it out!
Test your might. Test your might.
Your mother was a murderer! You smell like a leper! You are not prepared!
Hello, everybody. Card-carrying geeks within the sound of my voice. This is the Geek Card, show 123, because that pleases me.
That's a nice number.
It is a nice number. It's. I should have done a 1, 2, 3 before I started and actually made sure I could
Testing, show 1, 2, 3.
Yes, testing to make sure I can say the word card. Never mind. If you are carrying guards, I recommend you put them down because,
Don't need them yet.
yeah, they don't need to be carried around. It's probably fine.
Probably.
Wow, we're 38 seconds in and already talking complete and utter nonsense. Excellent, good start. Robbie, how has your geeky week been?
It's been pretty good. Although I have to just start with the traditional British thing of talking about the weather.
Excellent.
Because today was the first time in British history that the UK hit over 20 degrees Celsius
In February.
in February and in winter in general.
Yes,
And it's
very
been very
pleasant.
odd. It's very pleasant, but extremely odd. Especially since I had to de-ice the car this morning, and then it was 20 degrees. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's very strange because I'm still wearing my sort of winter stuff, which involves big heavy leather boots, leather gloves, and a massive heavy leather trench coat. So yeah, you can imagine my confusion when I step out the front door and realise, well, it's cold, but it's not that cold. Get on the always far too hot London Underground, and then get out to find it's 20 degrees. I'm like, why is it 20 degrees and I'm wearing a leather trench coat? What is this?
Oh dear.
So
I
was
mean,
a bit warm.
I'm waiting for all the comments to be like, well, that's our summer gone. And I'm like, no, not this year.
No.
No, it's going to be a stalker like last year.
The last couple of months, I've enjoyed leaving the gym sort of feeling all hot and bothered, and then stepping out into freezing cold air, and like really getting sort of my body temperature back down to normal quite quickly. Today I stepped out of the gym and I was like, there's no change in temperature between in there and out here. What's going on?
I guess it's sort of a little bit like having an ice bath, but without the bath bit.
But yes, it's a dry ice bath, yes.
Oh,
Well, no, that'd be silly because
cryogenic cryogenic beauty things are a thing, though. If you didn't know.
Oh,
So-
okay, fine. I'll take your word for it.
I mean, that is a geeky thing, but it's not something I'm really that interested in, to be honest. But it's something I am interested in is WoW.
Yes.
We had a successful raid night.
We did.
We got to the third boss and got first time, I think. I think it was first time.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
second time. No, it might have been second time.
But
I know that it wasn't stupendously difficult.
Yes, we're actually doing relevant content while it's live and supposed to be done. So that's great.
Yeah.
Our little casual Discord organised raid is making as much progress as proper raiding guilds. So
I mean, I don't think we can classify ourselves as casual if we do it once a week, right?
well, that's true. Actually, I suppose we are quite organised these days. Raven has become quite adept at the wrangling of cats and the calling of raids.
In that order.
Yes,
In that order, yeah.
in that order. The wrangling of cats, both figuratively meaning players and literally meaning Caprica on her desk.
Yeah. We did some mythic stuff, but the affixes sucked this week, so not much progress. But we did finish a 5, so yeah, it's as good as you can get when Sanguine's there.
Yeah, we didn't. We had a bit of luck in that we got a couple of good freeholds, which are they're not the best with a Sanguine on, but they're not the worst either.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't know. I was getting a bit disillusioned with mythics, but I don't know. I might have found a. Well, we have been talking about mixing things up, which might be good as well. But I might have found something to look forward to. But we'll come to that later on. What about? Sorry,
I've been leveling alts.
You have been leveling alts.
Yeah, I finally got to the point. I was like, well, I can't just log in and just hope that we're going to do a mythic, so I might as well start doing something else. So I started leveling my Worgen warlock from 110. I think we did Saturday and Sunday. We did time walking in various formations of our guild, and I got from 110 to 116.
That's very good
by doing that. So that was
nice.
pretty fun.
Have you
I don't have to heal, so that's fine. For now, that's okay with me.
Are you? Did you do any D&D this week?
No, I didn't. We've been. Some people have been taking sort of holidays because some of them teach, so it was half term.
Ah, right.
And I know that this coming weekend, one of our people is in Amsterdam because it's their fiance's birthday. So,
oh, cool. Well,
so no D&D for a bit, unfortunately.
Oh, there we go. It's always good to get a bit of a rest sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that I was crashing out of D&D. It was more that I was getting to the point where I was like, okay, I enjoy this, but not every week.
Yeah, not 7 hours every week.
Oh, no, God, no. I mean, I can only limit it to about 4 before I have to tap out for my own sanity. But, I mean, having said that, that one-off that was a 7-8 hour thing was pretty damn good. But not every week, God no. Yeah,
it can be too much. We're quite lucky. We play sort of 2-3 hours on a Tuesday evening, so it's a nice manageable chunk. Sometimes it feels like it'd be nicer to do longer because we could get into the big combats, but we tend to have to sort of find a particular right place to stop, knowing what's coming next. So that's.
Is that because it's a midweek thing? Or?
Yeah, it's a midweek thing. I mean, it used to be great when my partner was living in the house where we play the game, because it meant that we could just, in the evenings, it didn't matter how late it was, we'd just retire to bed, and there wasn't the sort of 45 minutes travel we've still got to get home after the game finished. But when we moved in here, it became a bit more of a, we have to end now because we need to get to bed before midnight sort of thing.
Right.
But there we go. But yes, WoW has been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed yesterday's time walking, which is the first time I've said that about Burning Crusade content in a long time.
Yeah.
But that's because I've actually started leveling an alt as well. So most people know I've been playing Swiss Army Paladin in this expansion and doing all 3 specs and all 3 roles with my Paladin. But I have tried to revive my Hunter that I started the expansion with, but I don't know, I've sort of fallen out of love with the Marksman rotation. I started off the expansion really liking it, and then by the time we started getting into mythics and that sort of thing, I was really just done with it. But I have decided to go back and get Slacker Mage from 110 to 120, and it's just been a really, really nice, fun thing to come back to. When you you used to listen to a band in high school, or you used to listen to a particular type of music, but you either outgrew them or forgot about them or whatever, and then you find a record and you stick it on, and it's sort of all familiar and everything. Well, that was me diving back into Arcane Mage rotation. It just felt really natural, and it all came back to me very quickly, and it doesn't seem to have changed overly much from where it was in Legion, which is good, because I had heard that it was quite it'd been broken quite a bit, like the Shadow Priest and Shaman and that sort of thing. But the case could be made that my performance yesterday was rather broken, but in the good way. So I deployed the ridiculously effective 1-button mage rotation, which is to say, so I started off 110, and we did time walking, and obviously we're all scaled down to the same level because it's for the time walking. And I was enjoying myself, but I had about halfway through the first fight suddenly realised, oh, I've only been doing the sort of 4-stack build up to 4 stacks of arcane charge and then release with an arcane burst. And I'd forgotten about the fact that part of the rotation is supposed to be a burn phase where you just hammer out as many arcane blasts as you can until you run out of mana, and then you evocate to get it all back again. So once I remembered to do that, I did a burn phase and went back into the conserve, and then a burn phase and back into conserve, and I was getting right back into it, and I was enjoying myself. So I hit 111 after the first time walking, and I thought, oh, this is great. I'll go and see Magni and get my Heart of Azeroth, and we'll see where we go. So he did that. We did the second dungeon, and that took me to about 111 and a half. But I got a piece of gear out of it, my first piece of Azerite gear. And the first item on it, the first power on it, is something that either makes my Arcane Blast stronger if I'm above 90% mana, or cost much less mana if I'm below 70% mana. So, great, thought I, that's nice, be able to get a piece of gear and just know exactly what spec I'm going to be making it for, and off we go. We got into the third time walking, and I started the burn phase when we got to the boss, and it just kept going and going and going. I never got below 70% mana, because once it got down to 70%, the rate at which I regenerate mana, dressed mostly in Legion legendaries, is as quick as the rate in which I can spend it. So
Yeah.
I was doing
a bit ridiculous.
I was just pressing one button repeatedly and doing 40% of the DPS. It's like, what? What's happening here? Now, as soon as I start taking off the legendaries from from Legion, and as soon as I start, getting past 115 and going through sort of more normal gear, I'm sure all that's going to, completely flatten out. But for the time being, at least in time walking dungeons, it's like, oh, I'm going to enjoy this while it lasts. And just,
I mean, I would.
Yeah.
Once I hit 116, I was like, oh no, my legendaries are gone.
Yeah.
Or I'm literally just wearing them for the stats because they're still better for some of the things.
Well, that's it. So one of the legendaries I've got has an ability on it that's, when I do an arcane burst, it could trigger an arcane orb, and any creature that orb hits gives me 1 charge of arcane energy. And at one point with a big trash pool, I was getting ridiculous. I was just doing arcane burst, it was fully charging. Arcane burst, it was fully charging, and suddenly arcane was doing multi-target damage, which is usually really terrible at. So I think I'll enjoy this ridiculously overpowered feeling of powerfulness for a bit.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm quite looking forward to getting to 120, and then hopefully being able to sort of say, right, well, if I need to tank or I need to heal, I'll go on my paladin. But if I'm just being asked to do DPS, then I'll go on my mage.
I mean, yeah, I was getting to the point with from like when you were talking about raid stuff before, I was thinking to myself, is it time that we brought back alts? And that was like my main suggestion was like on that which day was it that I did it with you? On the Sunday. You were like, oh well, we're not doing mythics at the minute, and like there's 3 of us here, and I was like, do you fancy jumping on like your alts so we can just do that and see what happens? And yeah, it was quite good. I mean, it was quite funny at one point when it was like you were doing your 1 button press and I was just throwing imps at things.
Yes, that was fun. Like, standing next to each other, just spamming imps and arcane bursts at things.
It got ridiculous though, because at one point I swear I had over 10.
I thought you had about 20 standing around. And I actually said to you, have you got enough imps here?
And it's like, nope, got to get more. And then every time I pressed the button to make them go, there was like, oh, because I did that, I get 3 back. Awesome. More imps.
Spend 2, get 3 back. It's an ever-increasing pile of imps.
I mean, what good of a warlock am I if I don't sacrifice my demons, right? Like,
yeah.
That's what I've got to do. So yeah, I was quite glad that, like, I'm not sure if I'll ever get to like the point where I'm going to raid with my warlock, unless we get to the point where it's like we have the option where we have more people coming in and say, oh, I fancy healing this time.
Yeah, because obviously you and I are 2/3 of the the raid heal team, so we're probably going to have that responsibility. But that's fine because that's like I enjoy the things I enjoy in this game are tanking, healing, and ranged DPS. The thing I don't enjoy as much is melee DPS. So it's suddenly it's like oh this could be fun having an option again. And the fact that I got to 113 in about 4 time walkings means that like your warlock, I have a feeling I could get sort of 116 without having to do any of the quests that I don't particularly want to repeat a third time round. So
yeah, I don't even think I finished the chapter in any of the territories yet. It's been like that.
I have. So I finished. Oh, I see. You mean on your warlock?
On the warlock, like as in like you get the areas, you get their
Yeah,
story bits.
yeah. I think I'm gonna do Drustvar to unlock some of the flight points because I know it's really annoying. I don't even know if I'm gonna do that, to be honest. I think I might actually just go straight out to Zandalar as soon as I can and start doing some questing there.
Yeah, that's one place I've never done like the questing for. I've done like the do the unlock the holds thing.
Yeah, I've done that, but I haven't
stayed.
done. I also haven't done any questing there, so that might be quite good.
Yeah, well, we had a good WoW week, so hopefully that continues.
We did. So yes, it's been an eventful week in the geeky world.
It has.
We can't we can't really go on without mentioning the Oscars. The Academy Awards season has come upon us, and a couple of our favourite geeky films done not too shabbily.
And also, I will just have to mention one of, like, I guess you could say geeky actresses in terms of like Peep Show, because that was quite a cult thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Olivia Colman won Best Actress.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen the speech, the acceptance speech, it's pretty amazing. So,
I haven't, so I'll have to go and watch that.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy that. It's very British.
Oh, good. We like it.
Just put it that way.
We like it very, very British. That's excellent. So the films that we were very happy to see did well was a Best Animation Award for Into the Spider-Verse, which is most well deserved and absolutely fantastic because that was one of the best animated films I've seen in a long old time.
That was the shocking one, really. Because of what it was against.
Yeah, that's true. And also the fact that it is, superhero movies doing well in the Academy Awards is usually not the case because, they're considered too lowbrow for the Academy or something like that.
I know, yeah. I mean, as much as I liked Into the Spider-Verse, but I had that whole nostalgia bug when Incredibles 2 came out, though.
Yeah, that's true. It was a sort of toss-up between the two of them, but I think the more sort of out there art style of Spider-Verse helped to tip it over. It made it sort of more of an exercise in artistry rather than just a really tight, polished CGI animation. So
yeah,
I have a feeling that's probably something there. But Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture. Now, it didn't win. That went to Green Book. But the fact that an all-black cast superhero movie got Best Picture nomination in the Academy is a very good sign, hopefully. And it did manage to sweep up 3 Oscars. It got Best Costume. Very well deserved. It got the Best Production Design, again, very well deserved. The all of the look and the feel of Wakanda and Afrofuturism and the whole thing was just absolutely fantastic. So it's not surprising that it swept up that.
It got Best Original Score as well.
It did, yes. Best Original Score for the music, which is absolutely fantastic.
Well, and also that's a big deal considering that the Queen movie was there too.
Yeah, I know that's pretty damn impressive. Although I suppose the music for Black Panther was completely original creation, taking into account multiple different cultural influences, whereas the Queen music just had to play some Queen songs.
Well, you say that, but they got best sound. The Bohemian Rhapsody movie got best sound editing and best sound mixing, but didn't win the score.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of fair. They got nods.
Male actress as well, a male actor, didn't they? So that was,
So I think that the fact that two superhero movies got a good showing in the Oscars is fantastic, and congratulations to them.
Yes.
Unfortunately, not all superhero movies are being quite as well received.
No.
This is the story that Rotten Tomatoes has actually had to remove its tomatometer. I really hope that's what they call it, because
That's what they should be calling it.
That's a good word, tomatometer.
Thermometer. The thermometer.
Because early releases of Captain Marvel for review have been carpet bombed by, and in fact review bombed, I believe is the proper term for it, by. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and call them trolls, who have decided that they want to destroy this female-fronted superhero movie. Some of the quotes in the article I saw was someone saying, "You couldn't pay me to see this social justice warrior-laden, white male-hating, worthless POS movie." And another was, "I am sick of this identity politics taking over pop culture. Brie Larson could get hit by a bus and I would not shed a tear."
I mean, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, this is not reviewing the movie or highlighting problems with the writing or anything like that. This is just saying we don't like it that a white woman, or not a white woman, sorry, well, it is a white woman, but we don't like it that a woman is leading our movie instead of a traditional white male action hero. And how is it? I don't. This term "social justice warrior" is. I mean, for a start, I'm a social justice paladin. Get it right, but just bringing. If anything, the commenters and by doing this review bomb are actually bringing their identity politics into pop culture. It's not pop culture. Isn't just straight white guys doing the same thing that they've done for the last 100 years. That's not popular culture. That's old culture.
Yeah, I know.
Popular culture is shifting, and so TV shows like Supergirl and movies like Wonder Woman, they are reflecting this, which is funny because they're really only doing what the comics have been doing for the last 50 to 70 years.
Right. It's also really funny to me because in my mind, doing this sort of thing only gives the film more publicity, to the point that a lot of people are going to go, you know what, fuck that guy in his mum's basement, I'm going to go see this film. Yeah,
and I hope that does happen here, because it's everything I've seen of it, and I don't particularly want to spoil myself by seeing too much of it, but everything I've seen of it is
the
looks
trailer's
fantastic,
good, like really good.
The trailer is really good, and it just looks like a really good Marvel movie. Like, I don't even understand where this perceived pushing of a social agenda is.
But you just know that if they change the name of the film, they'll be up for about that too. So I don't know, because it's like it's really, really bugs me, because in games like Mass Effect, right, where you choose the protagonist's gender, a lot of people that are complaining about this would have picked the female shepherd to play as,
quite possibly,
and done her up to the nines to make her look quote unquote sexy and appealing. But as soon as it's on a movie poster, they're like, "Nah, fuck that." What? No, sorry, you can't have both ways. Either you support female, awesome female characters, or you shut the fuck up. Like, is that fair? Like, I you're allowed to not like it, but you don't have to go to the point of like bombarding the critical review, which is again critical review of the thing, and saying, "Oh, it's not." It's like, oh yeah, but you're not going to comment on the fact like maybe the music sucks. Or
I mean, if this was the writing's terrible, the thing's bad paced, it's just an excuse for a VFX thing, then great, okay, that's a fair review of the film as a piece of cinema. But to review the film as this is a bad film because I think that white male politics is not being
addressed,
is not the It's like what? This is not a film review.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I might have forgotten about this, but when the publicity for Black Panther came out, was there uproar about that?
There was, but it quickly got a lot of people very quickly said this is not even subtle dog whistle, and a lot of people jumped down the critic's throat. But
so would you say that this them doing this is a way of gaslighting? Because
I don't know. I mean,
I think it is.
I feel that the people leaving these fake reviews or these aggressive reviews probably haven't actually taken the time to see the whole film.
Probably haven't even watched the trailer.
Yeah, but I feel like I can't completely comment because one of the quotes I've seen is, once Brie went on an anti-white male tirade, I lost interest in the movie. Why should I pay to see a woman who hates white man? Well,
she's not Brie Larson.
Remember.
Brie Larson's not playing Brie Larson in a film, for a start.
Well, yeah, that's the point. She's playing Captain Marvel, who is, as I understand it from the trailers, a human who has spent a good portion of her life living as an alien on an alien planet and not on Earth. Mm-hmm. So her politics are probably a little bit skewed by that whole, living on another planet thing.
Yeah.
But also, like, I can't really see where in the film
they've
Marvel would have put something like
they've
that.
Equated the fact that when I'm saying the trolls have equated when Casey Affleck won the best Oscar nomination in 2017 and then had that huge sexual harassment suit. And
I see.
She was like, I'm not. And there's like a really famous like GIF around of Brie Larson not clapping and just being like stone faced about it.
I see. So this is
the trolls have equated her as she hates all white men because she didn't clap for a white man. It's like, no, you've completely missed the point. Like completely and utterly missed the point.
Well, yes, but the point is that this white man potentially
is a piece of shit.
Like somebody, so
he's a piece of shit.
They probably wouldn't have seen his behaviour as anything to be considered bad.
No, and the sick thing about that is that they probably find it admirable as well. So the less said about that, the better.
I love this. I love this. Another line here that's just like, Disney has already killed the Star Wars movie franchise. Looks like this will be the final nail in the MCU coffin.
Excuse me, where? Where?
When did
that happen?
Because I think that did remarkably well in the box office.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, where? Can you pinpoint the exact point where they fucked that up, please?
So what I think you meant to say is, Disney have already killed the Star Wars movie for me by not making the movie I wanted it to be all along, and putting smelly women in charge.
Yeah, but they did. But people did that when Doctor Who changed as well, and then that's like I will admit, like once David Tennant left Doctor Who, I was not that interested, but I have watched Jodie Whittaker's episodes, and they're actually quite good. So,
I mean, the thing for me is, like, if this had been a Superman, so if they'd said, we're going to make a Superman film,
right,
and we've cast this woman to play the part, then I might be able to sort of say, well, why did you do that? That's a sort of strange thing to do. But if you're going with Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman, okay, Captain Marvel's maybe not as a strong example because there have been multiple Captain Marvels, but if you're going with the current Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman, they're just doing exactly what the comics have been doing, since the 50s and 60s. There have always been strong, powerful, independent women, female heroes in the comic books. It's not like it's a new thing that suddenly they're breaking all the old comic book rules by having women superheroes. It's like there have always been powerful, independent female superheroes and powerful, independent black superheroes. And by the 70s and 80s, there were LGBT heroes. It's like,
I mean, at the end of the day, most superheroes are aliens.
They're
they're not even human. Like, what the fuck?
This goes back to the what we talked about with Titans and the hoo-ha about casting a black actress to play an orange-skinned alien.
Oh my god! Right? Yeah. Like, okay.
It's just total and utter bullshit, and unfortunately, the media highlighting their bullshit just gives them a mouthpiece and ends with flipping Trump in the White House.
I mean,
there we go.
but then there'll be a superhero against that, so that'll be fine. Like you just gotta wait another year, right? And there'll be a I don't know, what would you call like an anti-Trump?
Someone make Obama into a superhero, and Trump will just spit the dummy.
Oh God, no, let's
He'll
not.
be commissioning a company to make him a superhero, but even better one.
What Obama?
No,
Trump.
Trump will. Yeah. He wants to because he wants to outdo Obama on every.
I mean, to be
front.
fair to Trump, though, he is living up to his literal name because he is a massive part of flatulence. So
that's going to confuse non-English.
Really, I thought the word Trump was like quite synonymous with fart, the farting.
The world over, I thought it was just a sort of English.
Is it an Anglo thing?
Like Pratt and that sort of thing.
And the other words that we don't say.
Yeah. So there we go. Yes, you can quit. I think we're going to have a new rule. You know the rule that if you, as soon as you invoke Hitler or the Nazis, you have immediately lost the argument.
Right.
Well, I think we need that sort of doesn't really work anymore because the right wing and literal neo-Nazis are on the streets of the Western cities. So I think we need to slightly change that rule. That as soon as you mention snowflakes or liberal metropolitan elite or social justice warrior, you've immediately lost the argument.
Yeah.
I'm going to declare it.
It's just, I mean, it's probably been said the world over already, but you heard it here first. Otherwise,
yes. Except for the fact that we're not first to say it. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
So we talk about phones. There's been a lot of phone stuff going on.
There has.
And I'd like to start with, I think I left a link for the Nokia 9 PureView.
You did.
Oh, this is a silly phone.
It's definitely got a pure view of something.
It has, because it uses 5 cameras to take a single photo. And it looks odd. Like,
I tell you what this is going to be, and that is utterly, utterly terrifying for those people who have that phobia of circular shapes.
What is that called?
Yes, that one. I don't
the one
remember
that's
either, but I do know two people who suffer from it.
As a real thing and not just the on the bandwagon one.
No, they genuinely do get freaked out by
not
sort of honeycomb shapes and that sort of thing.
Trypophobia.
Trypophobia, that's it, yes.
Oddly enough, that doesn't bother me.
No, it doesn't bother me either, but I mean, I can vaguely understand where it would come from, so there you go.
Yeah, but this phone has 5 cameras in the shape. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of getting quite symbolic about this, but it's an upside down cross for a start.
Yes,
and it has a flash, and I can't tell what the other one is.
That'll be the light meter.
The light meter, okay.
Yeah, so that'll be the one that's detecting. Is the phone?
It's in a sort of a hexagonal configuration.
Yes,
and I think the flash is in the wrong place. Personally, myself.
I would have thought you'd put the flash in the middle.
That's where I would have put it, and I put the light sensor at the top. But that's just me. But this phone claims to be able to produce photos of up to 240 megapixels without a loss of resolution when zooming in. Which, when it has 5 fucking cameras, it better do that.
Well, yes, and I suppose there must be some amazing software behind the scenes stitching these images together, but I cannot think that 5 cameras means that the slightest sort of bit of camera shake and you're just going to get very weirdly joined together blurry nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's an odd phone because even though it's branded as a Nokia phone, it's not made by Nokia anymore. It's made by another company from Finland, HMD Global, which is it's made up of the mobile phone business that Nokia sold to Microsoft.
Okay.
When they had the Windows Phone Nokias, if you remember, they had that weird time with those big vibrant yellow ones.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, the company then had exclusive rights when they stopped creating the Microsoft Mobile because it failed. Microsoft Mobile is no longer a platform that's supported. So HMD got back the rights to Nokia Mobile, so there's Nokia.
Oh, okay.
Because Nokia's a big thing in Finland.
Well, that makes sense because a lot of other companies are putting out phones in the same way. So, for example, you and I both have a Motorola, except
It's
we
a
don't.
Lenovo.
We have a Lenovo.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not an uncommon practice.
Yeah.
Now, scrolling through this article, I have to say I am immediately arrested, shall we say, by the what the fuck? Excuse my
the light
language.
cameras.
The light cameras. Where has that been? How have I not seen this?
We missed this one completely.
We did. We completely missed this. 16 Cthulhu-esque eyes baked into a camera. What?
I admit that even though I don't have trypophobia, that does look quite creepy for the fact that it's got so many different mirrors and angles inside each one.
Yeah,
and only one
it looks like
flash.
a
What the fuck? It has a tiny little flash. But the Nokia 9 itself, like the rest of the phone's a bit meh.
Right. Why? What's the rest of the phone looking
It's
like?
just a generic middle of the range. I don't know what would you call that? Just mid range, I guess.
Yeah, mid range. Yeah.
Because even though each of the cameras are, they're 26 megapixels, and this is meant to be really good for like the dynamic range of the HDR and to stop like when you're in low light and stuff like that. The rest of the phone, like they haven't even they've got just a last generation Snapdragon processor, which is not really a good start if you're having to rely on something that's already a couple of years old. And it's got where was the thing about the display? It's not an OLED display, so it's not a rich color display.
Right.
Which, when you're taking photos, I thought that would have been the major thing you would have wanted.
Well, also when you're asking, over £500 or nearly $700 for the phone, you'd kind of expect it to be rather high end.
Yeah, I mean it's $699 as a start.
That's the starting price. Also, what sort of storage does this thing have? Because taking 240 megapixel photos is going to really eat up storage very quickly.
Yeah, I'm just looking into that now. The only thing that it has on the main Nokia website itself is that it's running Android 9. It does claims a large adaptive battery, whatever that means. Doesn't actually have very many specs in detail. So yeah, it's just under a 6-inch display. It can record 4K HDR video, so that's going to take up a lot of room. As you said, that's ridiculous. 4K is raw 4K video. I should admit, it is stupidly large file sizes. I'd imagine it must start at 128. That if it didn't start at 128 gigabyte storage, it would be criminal for a phone that's claiming to be good for pictures and good for video and all that. And I'd also be I know it's a trend that's not been going on in recent years, but I'd hope that it would have some form of onboard storage that is extra storage, whether it's their own proprietary branded cards or whether it's micro SD. But it does have but the fact that it has 2 SIM card slots might be the factor that one of them might be doubled up as a storage one, like it does on my Motorola. Right. I can have 1 SIM card and 1 micro SD, or I could have 2 SIM cards in the tray.
There you go.
So yeah, I'd hope that they were sensible enough, because Nokia, used to be. I hope it still is a sensible brand. But having a phone that's got 5 cameras, not too sure about that one.
Yeah, the 7-eyed chthonic monstrosity.
I mean, I'd hope it comes out in Cthulhu Green.
Yes,
because I was missing.
Just looking at this picture, I'm waiting for one of the cameras to just blink.
No, it's on that other camera, that light camera. They just all blink
Yeah.
at once.
Ugh.
No, I wonder why that didn't catch on. It says in this article, never sold well.
Funny
But
that.
it was a stepping stone to bringing its know-how to smartphones. There we go. It was also the week of folding phones.
Of course.
We were going to briefly talk about this last week when we saw the Samsung Developer Conference. Was it the Developer Conference?
Yes.
And there was is it a Galaxy 10 Note?
Galaxy 10 grand.
Yeah, fucking hell. God, it cost over like £1,500. That was fucking ridiculous. But Huawei has unleashed their...
Unleashed.
Yeah, I like that word for this, because this is an amazing piece of kit. It's Mate
It
10. It says Mate X, but I'm saying 10 because it's the trend, you know. But it has a foldable screen, but it's an all-in-one folded screen that doesn't have any bezels with cameras in it.
Yeah.
And that's impressive.
This is it also folds flat, unlike the Samsung.
Oh, didn't the other one fold flat?
No, so if you carry on down in the article, there's a sort of side-on plan drawing, and they illustrate that the Samsung doesn't actually, because of the hinge in it, it doesn't actually fold flat.
Oh,
whereas the Huawei Mate. So the Samsung is, for those not sitting with the article in front of them, the Samsung is two equally sized screens that fold out and reveal one large tablet-like device with, I have to say, a quite stylish sort of asymmetric notch on the one corner for the microphone and camera thing. I don't
know, that's a gimmick that would get old quick to me personally.
Maybe. But the Huawei, what they've done quite cleverly is it's an asymmetrical fold. So you have a full size, sort of 6-inch phone, and then you have a sort of 3, maybe 4-inch extra side to the screen.
Yeah.
That when it folds flat gives you a sort of, like I say, an asymmetrical screen where the left-hand side is a bar of lights and cameras and sensors and speakers, etc. So folded flat in conventional portrait phone mode, it has this asymmetrical design, which I really like.
It almost looks like a soundbar, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then fully unfolded, not only do you have a sort of thicker part to hold on to now because of where that bar is, but also you have a wider tablet size device. And I really like this.
I do too. Shall we just go through the comparisons between the Mate X and the Galaxy Fold? The X screen is 8 inches when it's unfolded. When closed, the Mate X has a 6.81, which is the bigger screen, and then the smaller 6.6 inch with the bar. So that's still a pretty big screen.
That's.
And when shut, the Mate X is 11 millimeters thin, or for your Americans, that's 0.43 inches. And in comparison, the Galaxy Fold is 7.3 inches when unfolded. The Fold's other displays is 4.6 inches, and it's slightly thicker at 17 mil, with its, the widest point being the bit that's not quite, where they've done the funny hinge thing, where it's got that bigger gap at one end. Right. I can't tell. Is it the edges are together in the Samsung one, or is it the hinge is apart? What is that?
The hinge is the middle. Of two separate looking phone components, and as a result, when the two edges of the solid part of the phone are touching, the curve is not actually flat. It's a sort of squashed D shape.
There's a tweet which is in this article by Ben Wood, which sort of illustrates how the this is quite shady by Huawei. It has the Huawei Mate X's fold design from the top view, and then it's got other foldable phones. And I'm like, oh, you shady.
It's very clear. It's very clear.
I really like where Huawei's put the charging port. and I know that's a weird thing to say because the Samsung one, it has like sort of a conventional phone where one screen has the charger in the middle of it, whereas the Huawei one has it in their weird notchy hinge that's the folded in on itself on the bigger screen. It has this area where it has the USB-C, and I like that.
I do. I really like this, and I think that ironically, this reminds me of the Microsoft Courier tablet that we never actually saw.
Oh, what the weird what's the prototype thing?
Yeah,
from years. How long ago was that?
Oh,
it was a while. It was before its time.
Years ago. Yeah, it was.
But I'm really impressed also with the way you've mentioned the cameras and the fact that this Huawei one is basically an 8-inch tablet built into a phone. But with the cameras on this bar where it has, I think it's 2 cameras and flash with I think there's a light sensor there. But obviously what they've done is they've done it so that you could take a picture with one screen and then turn it round, and you've obviously got this other screen, and now you've got the cameras pointing to you in a selfie mode. So they've utilized how the screens work and how you take photos, which when you're drunk would be extremely confusing. But it's a shame really that Huawei's in the midst of all this 5G security concern stuff, because I would be tempted to buy this. I
would as well, and I have to say it's only the security concerns that I would say would put me off here. There's no mention of the price, unfortunately.
There is a price.
Oh, there is a price? Okay, what was the price?
It's at the bottom.
It's
a lot.
It's a lot. Okay, is it as much as the
Samsung? It's more.
Oh, that's a price. In fact, that's not a price. That's
a fair price.
In pounds, it's 1996. That's a date, not a price.
It is. I know. Like that, you just know some fucker's going to put that up to 1999.
Yeah,
you just know that. It's a shame that like this is the price that people. I mean, I would love this, but I can't afford that.
No, but I think this is early price that reflects the fact that they need to recoup the research and development costs. I think in a few years' time, every phone brand will have its premium foldable version, and they'll be going for around the same thing that a premium phone goes for now.
I mean, I try not to have brand loyalty, but I do like Motorola Android phones, and I'd like to see in a few years' time where they come through with this.
It will be interesting to see if and when, and that's a big if, because they may just decide it's a gimmick and not even get in the game, but what Apple does as a response to this.
Oh, I don't know. They've got their sort of, they've got their things, their infrastructure, not infrastructure, what's the word? Where you're in the
they've got their ecosystem.
Ecosystem, thank you. That's ironic coming from me, not knowing that word. But I don't know, because when when tablet phones or smartphones first came out, like it took a long time before Apple even announced that they were making a smartphone.
Yeah, but
it took several years. But
when they did,
they have been leading the way.
Exactly. The only problem is, does this risk if they did do something like this? Does it risk hurting their small iPad sales?
I don't know. They find a way to put them together.
Probably.
Top end phone, low end tablet.
Yeah,
is what I would suggest they would do. So yeah.
Yes. So I guess we throw this one out to the listeners at home. What exactly do you think of these Samsung's swish notch and Huawei's folding, clever, super thin,
asymmetrical
thing with its hinge?
These are true phablets, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are.
This is what the word phablet is for, not those. Yeah, not the stupid midway size of screens on phones.
Indeed. So yes, let us know. Links to come a bit later, but let us know what you think, and if we've missed any more phone gems, then do let us know. But just before we get to all that, we have to remind you all that we are massive fans and proud to be part of the Voice of Geek network. You can find tons of other podcasts over there for all your various geeky and filmographic and musical and any other kinds of interests you have. VOG has got you covered. Of course, we would be remiss if we didn't remind you that the lovely Girls Gone WoW can be found on VOG Network. You can also join us to raid with them. If you go to girlsgonewow.net/Discord, there's the instructions on how to join us casual and friendly folks on Wednesday nights over for the EU. There is a North America one as well, but I'm afraid we don't take part in that one, so we don't have as much details, but all the details are over there, girlsgonewow.net/Discord. And you can find other great podcasts at allthews.vognetwork.com.
Can I just remind you that you forgot to mention something in Week in WoW?
Oh, did he? What did I forget to mention?
You went hunting for something.
Oh, I did. I went mining for moose.
You did. You went archaeologyings.
I found the benefits of this is a true level of nerdery. I found the benefits
Okay.
of combining two slightly taxing but ultimately rewarding elements of geekery, and that is, if I want to watch Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night SmackDown Live from the WWE, that's 5 hours of wrestling content. That's a bit to sit through, especially to make other people sit through. If I want to mine up 600 shards and get a spectral moose to go with our easily amoosed guild, then I have to dedicate a lot of time to that. So what I ended up doing was sticking on the wrestling on one screen while I played WoW on the other.
There you go. That's old school
Concentrated
wowage.
nerdery. Yes.
That's old school wowage. It's actually quite funny because we can't really call any of your characters slackers anymore, because you've been doing professions and you've been doing the requirements that, albeit they're just arbitrary requirements that don't mean anything because it's just casual stuff, but it was a bit of fun that you've actually sat down and did a profession to get a thing for our age.
Yes, I've maxed out archaeology and I've maxed out my jewel crafting. It's the first time in a long time I've done that.
Yeah.
So yes,
good on.
I'm not slacking so much anymore.
No, you have to give Uulen a new name.
Yes,
yeah.
but we will not give her a new name from Uulen because that is how it's pronounced, Uulen, not any other way.
You do realise that bringing this up just means that they're going to do it more.
Well, that's they're going to do that anyway, so never mind.
Yeah.
Oh
dear, but there are.
Robbie, why don't you go rummage around in the inbox?
I will. So Marie's given us a bit of an update for D&D on her because there's family D&D going on. So Eric has found a site that generates and populates a random dungeon to various parameters. He's enjoying running Greg's Wizard or My Fighter through low-level ones once or twice a week, and she's given us a link, which is a bit complicated, but it's in the show notes. It's donjon.bin.something. Oh my god, that's confusing. But I'm actually going to look into this because this could be quite useful. And there's also something that was quite funny that happened this week to Nintendo America.
Oh yes, this is fantastic.
So there's a new vice president of sales who has nominative determinism is a big thing here because his name's Doug Bowser.
Yes, Bowser has taken over Nintendo.
Yeah, and have you seen that they use GameCube controllers to tie up Mario and Luigi in the background of the picture?
Yes, this is fantastic. I do love a bit of nominative determinism, but yes, Bowser suddenly taking over the North American branch of Nintendo was very good.
Also, I want those Goomba plushies, that big one.
They are very cool.
Yes,
I like those.
Yes, we like those.
Yes.
But that'll be it, because that's done. We've done it. Our show notes are done.
It is. That's all we have, which means the last thing we can do is say, Robbie, how can people get in touch with us and with you and with me if they want to let us know what they think of folding phones and all that jazz?
So you can find the show on Twitter at TGC Show, and you can find the podcast at various podcast places. But if you want to go straight to our website, it's thegeekcard.podbean.com. You can find me, Robbie, at Robbie_glow on the Twitter, and you can find Razerbug at
RZBG because I'm allergic to vowels.
It's true.
We haven't said that for a while.
I know. You should put that on your Twitter tag thingy, bio thingy.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Well, now come on, Robbie, hand it over.
Okay.
Time to pass me your geek card. There we are. Thank you very much. And we ink the stamp. And for the penultimate time in the month of February, everything up to date. Up to date?
For God's sake.
I started off with guards, and now I'm keeping things up to date.
Also, you got it wrong because it's the 1st of March on Friday when this goes out.
Oh, indeed. So it's the ultimate stamping for the month of February.
And your moose.
Yes. And there you are. Your geek guards are up to date, apparently.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to The Geek Card with your hosts, Razerbug and Robbie Glow. You can find The Geek Card wherever fine podcasts are found and on the web at thegeekcard.podbean.com. The Geek Card is a proud member of the Voice of Geeks network, where you can find other amazing podcasts like Orange Lounge Radio, Starboard Power Coupling, and Girls Gone WoW. Find out more at www.vognetwork.com.